Welcome to this edition of How To. I will be showing you how to cut and prep a butternut squash. Butternut squash is very healthy. On other notes, butternut squash is textural. It takes on any flavor that you may want, savory or sweet. So I'm just starting by peeling the outer skin. This is very thick, so make sure you do have a very sharp knife, which is all you will need. I have another sharp knife. I also have a peeler, which I am using at this moment. I also have a steel for sharpening. Blade to blade. You want to make sure you keep your thumb here so you don't cut yourself. Just go ahead to continue to peel. Get a firm grip because it will slip out of your hand, as you can see. And you want to make sure you peel away from yourself. That way you don't cut yourself. But in this event, there are both sides to a blade. People do not know. You can hold it like this and peel. As you can see, I kind of peel faster than others. I have the this side peeled already. Then you can work on this side. That way you don't overwork your wrist, I also have this trash bowl or somewhere where you can discard very quickly, so you still keep a clean surface, excuse me, working space. I'm going to continue just to cut the rest of it very quickly. Firm grip. Don't worry about the little rest of the shards. These ends will get cut off, so we can go back and quote unquote edit later. You can do long strokes, short strokes. And we do have the first one completed. I'm going to start on the second one while I'm still cleaning as I go along, keeping my cutting board clear of debris. Of course, I like to peel towards myself because I can get the entire squash peeled without having to do so much. Like I said, it is very thick. So we are almost complete with the first steps of peeling. Please be very careful. I'm still keeping my area clean. Of course, I have already washed my hands. I will do so again during the middle stage due to this wax actually being sticky, which is the reason why we cut it off. It was a good snap there. I'll let you hear it again. That's good. That means the squash is pretty fresh. So I'm going to bring you a little closer so you can get some nice skills here. So straight down. Notice my finger is like this. This avoids you from cutting yourself. You do want to go straight down, hold your hand here. if I cut like this, I won't ever cut myself. It's leading the knife right against the bone of your finger. Don't cut like this. Don't cut like this. It's like this, up and down. Straight down. So the same thing with the scraps. I can throw them in my little disposable area, the bowl I have to the right of me. I'm going to go a little bit faster, so bear with me, but stay with me. So we just did the same thing, cut off the ends. Like I said, you can go back and fix some of the things that you have not gotten as far as peeling wise. But other than that, we are ready to cut. We have did the first steps to peeling the butternut squash. We're going to cut down. You can cut it in half and then cut down, but you know, if you know what you're doing, you're confident, you can just go straight down, straight line. Continue straight, holding very firmly so you can get a good cut all the way through. Follow the line back through on the other side, and you have a little surprise in the middle. These are the seeds, so you can gouge them out. Well, you have to gouge them out. We are going to clean them out. You can grab a spoon. They're very easy to just kind of, just like so, go around, push it out. And you see you have it already out, and then go back and clean. Like you were carving a pumpkin. Just scoop it out, and you have there. You can get it as clean as possible, or you don't have to, depending on you, depending on the meal you're making, depending on the end result you want, the presentation, because you can also roast this entire thing, leave this here, and maybe put some other butternut squash and sweet potatoes with a little black sesame seed, giving it a little color. And you know, there's so many different meals you can do. So that's just one. I'm going to move this to the side so we can cut this second one here. Keeping my spoon, and of course you can see the entire time I still have a clean cutting board. I'm not saying anything in particular, but it's just definitely not a good sign for any cook to have a cutting board with multiple things on it. Make sure you clean it in between tasks, especially proteins. You do not want to make anyone sick or cause contamination. So of course we have these seeds here again. We're going to get those out of there. And usually if I had a ice cream scoop, one scoop, all you need, and it will come right on out. As you can see that I am being more firmer to get it out, but it's coming out just as easy as anything else. You notice if you ever cut fruit before, honeydew, cantaloupe, they have similar bodies. They have seeds on the inside as well that you cut out, and of course they're definitely a little more easier than an acorn to get out, because cantaloupe is fruit and it's soft and it's easy to come out. I'm going to rinse that spoon off and drop it in the sink to the right of me. I don't have that much debris, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe around because those seeds do get a little bit everywhere. This is the scratch bowl. You can see all the seeds are in there, all the peels are in there. Nothing's all over the place. I still maintain my clean board. So let's go ahead and we'll get some more, gain some more nice skills practice. And as you can see here, you can get a few different cuts out here, but I'm just going to go for a small dice. And I'm trying to get this lighting a little better because it's so bright that I want you to be able to see the cuts. Give me 1 second. So we are on our last step of how to prep, clean, and cut a butternut squash before you season it and cook it off. Of course, butternut squash you can roast, you can puree. Just depends on the meal that you're working towards and for. You can also saute it. You can also do a combination of both methods and or cooking procedures. So, going to go ahead and cut this bad boy up. I'm going to go straight down. And once I do the first one, I'm going to go at a more prominent speed for myself, and you can just be the watcher. So right now I'm preparing the cuts. I'm preparing, if I was using protein, I would say scores. That's just marks of where I'm going to cut it, but I'm not doing scores. I'm actually cutting straight down. And I'm doing the entire cut. So if you're not experienced, the way that I just did it won't be maybe as efficient for you due to just the way you hold a knife and the experience that you'll gain. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you an overage of what it looks like, because the way I have my camera, it is not coming out as clear for you all to see straight through. So I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts going straight down, and now I'll be able to go straight across to create my dices. As you can see, these are pretty much uniformed. Each one is about 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, and that's also just from experience by eyeballing. And so I cut this part off because these are a little bit wider. And from here I'll get consecutive cubes without having to do too much. If you also notice over here, we just went over the lengthwise. If you look down, these are the width too. So each cube will be about this size here. This is important when you get into mass cooking, because if you don't have the proper sizes, or too big, or you have uneven cuts, you will notice that your food is going to cook unevenly. So I'm going to go over one more detail, and then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. So if I was to cut straight down, you'll get this piece here. So when I get here, these pieces are going to be different. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to cut just this one piece off just for demo. So that's what size each one is going to be, give or take. And that's just from this stem to this stem. So if you wanted, you could cut in the middle, then cut down, and then cut down. That way now you have more uniform pieces for cooking. And you heard it just went into the bowl to the left of me, as far as the prep bowl that is all ready to go, completed, ready for seasoning. So you'll gain your own experience on uniformity and getting a little bit better. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'll tell you a story. The first time that I even get started, onion was the hardest thing for me to cut, because it's round. You're like, how do you get uniform cube sizes out of things that are round? Well, prime example, we're working with the round item here. So while I was talking, I went ahead and cut the rest of those, and you can see that they have uniformity. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and cube the rest of these up here, Like I said, now you'll see that the thing is getting bigger. I'll just go ahead and cut these in half, giving you 2 pieces, but keeping them together on the cutting board, cutting them straight down. That way you're not wasting time. So now they look like they just came out of the package at Kroger's. That you pay $5.99 for a package because it's already pre-cut and they're charging for labor. And you could just pay the regular price and then did the cutting yourself at home, saving you a little bit of money, taking a little bit of your time, but also getting your fresh ingredient that's fresh and not sitting in a container with moisture and other substance that is keeping it quote-unquote fresh. So as you can tell, now I'm moving quicker. Like I said, this is my speed until you get a little bit better. Or if you are experienced, you know yourself on how you are with sharp equipment, how clumsy you are, because I can be clumsy at times. So my clumsy and my energy and or rushing is what usually allows me to cut myself, but that was in the past. Once you know how to operate the knife, then you'll be fine. If you know I'm scooping with the knife up and under, turning it over, but you don't even see all of those procedures. You just see a scoop and because I have been doing it for a while. I have been cooking for 15 years plus now, from Philadelphia, so I have a lot of international and roots from people I grew up with, people I was exposed to. So once you get comfortable in your groove, you can just go ahead and have at it. I have just about a little bit cut up almost. We only have pretty much one whole one. I mean, these are clearly from 2 different pieces of each other's, but almost complete. I just like to shave off any other peels that are there. It's also good to keep up with your time management. Had a little instrumental music on, and it was 4 minutes long. It's a good way to keep up with time by playing music, and if it stops on and you're in peace and quiet, you know that you're taking some time. So if you notice I'm still working through doing the same procedure, I'm just doing it a little bit faster. Still cutting straight down, making my pieces. Cooking is nothing but repetition. Once you know what you're doing, have the knowledge and the experience, it's just repetition, doing the same thing over, depending on the amount of cooking you have to do. And excuse my comfortability, I am at home, I am in my role. I figured I'd just do a little how-to video, and I will be doing these often since I get a lot of phone calls on how to do different things. So this is the first video on how to cut and prep butternut squash. I am going to probably give you, after these videos, I probably will just give you the end result pictures of how they look. I won't go into much detail of what I use. Not saying that I'm hiding any ingredients, because I don't mind sharing with you what I use. just feel free to ask, because there's so many different flavor profiles that you can create when it comes to cooking anything. There's more than one way to cut a tomato. And that's what I feel about cooking. There's more than one way to do anything, especially depending on where you've come from. So we have completed the first how to prep, peel, prepare for seasoning and cooking your butternut squash. I am not on YouTube. I do not have a channel. I will be creating these videos and putting it on my Instagram and Facebook. Thank you for watching. I use the 2-pot method. The other pot is gone, and then I combine them into one. I use the 2-pot method so they can cook faster and evenly. You want to cook them until they're tender. Anything else, you all, just give me a comment, holler, or ask any questions on Facebook or Instagram, or DM me. I don't mind answering questions and or taking requests for the next how-to videos. So this is pretty much ready to go, tender. We can do a little demo. This is just for demo purposes. This will not be eaten or added into anyone's food. So I'm just going to cut this in the middle and check its readiness. And excuse my fingers, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you all that with very little pressure, I was able to cut straight through. You don't want it to be, you do want it to have some depth and some texture, because after this it will begin to get soggy and or start to break down. If I can get this clarity. Okay, camera, wants to stay blurry. But there you have it. After that, you can taste it. I already did. See if you want to add a little flavor. Like I said, you do have to well season them. To me, they taste a little bit like potatoes. However, depending on just whatever seasons you put in there, they can taste very, very, very different, taking on different flavors and flavor profiles. You can add sweet or savory or a little bit of both. I do a little bit of both here. So, thanks for watching. I had to do one more last video. I add a little bit of a few more ingredients just to add a little sheen to it, a little more flavorful. This is, just really quick and simple, not putting my all into it tonight. Light dinner for myself. For anyone that knows me, I cook my butt off for everyone else, but when it comes to me, I am lazy and I want to be in and out the kitchen. But I'll take my time sometimes and give myself a little love as well. So let's see a few pictures that goes with these videos. It's just a dinner of butternut squash, rice. As you all know, I love rice, and roasted chicken.